Hello, everybody. Welcome again to LingoCast, your favorite academic podcast. Today we have with us Matthew and Santiago. They are foreign students from Colombia and currently studying in UCLA. These guys had to learn how to speak English in their teen years in order to be able to get their scholarship. Today we're asking them a few questions about their experience of being able to speak English fluently. Okay, to begin, I'd like to say hi to our guests, Matthew and Santiago.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. It's nice for you to invite us here today. We were really looking forward to this.
Yes, Sole. Thanks for having us. It's a true pleasure to share our experience with you all.
Don't even mention it. It's my pleasure to interview you because if there's anything this podcast needs, it's people like you guys. Okay, to start, I want to ask you if English was your first option as a second language or maybe you felt apathic to it. Like, what was your first interaction with English that made you realize you wanted it as your second language?
Well, I will feel very close to English because of my relative life in the United States. And I think I was always aware of what English was going to bring into my life. So I never hesitated when I chose to learn English in the idioms program, and like here, I am now, right?
Yeah, well, I was not into it in the beginning. I actually prefer to learn how to speak any other language like German, French, Italian, because since I was little, I wanted to move to Europe like my siblings did, and also I absolutely hated the English class in middle school. The teacher was a witch, but eventually I grew up to like the culture of the United States. So I started learning the language by myself with some English books, and well, I think I became good at it too.
So, like, different ways to start for the both of you. I wonder if you had chosen to learn how to speak German or Italian instead.
Well, I realized later that learning how to speak most of European languages is useless, because when you already know English and you can communicate with anyone in other countries, what's the point of learning French, Mandarin, Russian, etc.?
Okay, I see.
Well, I've always disagreed with him on the matter. I think that beyond being able to say that foreign people understand you, you need to be able to say that they respect you because you respect them, their culture, their language. I am sure that whenever you speak to someone in their native language, they feel honored and will most likely treat you better.
Totally. And it also helps a lot with what you put in your resume. I'm sure the chances of getting hired would be unremarkable.
Absolutely, it sure does help with it. In the meantime, I'm trying for Italian. I hear there's an amazing doctoral program in Florencia and do hope to get in.
Santiago, of course you're gonna get in. You have nothing to worry about. How about Matthew? Interested in any third language?
I feel like maybe I've been seeing it in the wrong way. After all, I've always been interested in German. Maybe I could give it a try. I don't know.
That's wonderful. I might too. Who knows? It's one of the languages that I've struggled the most to learn. But it's like a challenge. I like that. Also, my best friend is from Germany and she's always talking about how much living there could improve my language skills. Which brings me to my next question. In your experience, how can you improve your skill in a language by also learning the culture? Is that possible?
Well, it certainly has a lot of implications. Like, for example, when I first moved to California, I already knew how to speak English fluently, but it wasn't till I had 3 months here in California that I started to speak better with my friends. But I don't know how to the culture might have helped me with that.
I believe that maybe people speak according to their culture, not to the language. That's why you don't really speak a language fully until you move to a country where this language is spoken.
Well, speaking of which, with this whole matter of moving to another country, learning another language, changing your lives, how does your families feel towards it? Maybe they feel left out or what?
My parents were always on when I told them that I wanted to learn English, But as soon as I started to become like my first language, I think they resent me for it. They always spoke to me about how beautiful the Spanish was. Also, sometimes they'll tell me that I've become a full American and forgotten all about my culture. But I mean, that's not true. I love Colombia and my family.
Our situations are similar. I will not deny that. But the difference is that I don't think my parents will ever come around to the fact that I now speak English a lot more than Spanish. They also resent me for it.
I get that sometimes parents don't always understand and think it's easier to judge, but in this matter, maybe they're kind of right. Because let's be honest, if you had to choose between one of your languages, which would it be?
Both? Absolutely. That's indiscussable.
I couldn't also choose between one of my languages is impossible, but I must admit that I couldn't live without English. It has become an essential part of my new life.
I get that, and it's terrible to feel bad about it. One is always going to be thankful in life with our mother language, but learning a new language is also part of life and a way of growth.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, spending so much time with a language really makes you connect with it.
For how long have you been speaking English, and how long did it take to perfectionate?
Right now, I am level C2. I am not an easy learner, so it took 6 years since I was 14.
I'm also level C2, but since I knew all benefits English would bring into my life, I was totally dedicated to it. I've been learning since I was 15 and I finished the course when I turned 18.
I wish I could be more like you.
Don't worry, I get how hard it is to learn a language. Spanish took me 6 years to perfectionate. It's a language full of details, but I have to say that it was 100% worth it. Yo amo el español.
That's nice. You are good like us.
So, to finish, I want to ask you maybe a little bit of a controversial question. What do you think of the native English speakers that have absolutely no interest in learning other languages?
Well, I wouldn't be friends with any person that has no interest in expanding their knowledge, let alone native English speakers. I want to relate to the people that wants to be able to be a citizen of the world, a person that can show respect to any culture. Not only I believe they are entirely wrong, but I also feel like this reflects into their lives and the fact that they never want to leave their comfort zone.
I think people have their reasons when they don't want to learn a language, and I respect that. But when it comes to Americans specifically, they just don't want to learn another language because they think they're so special like that, and they are wrong. And that way of thinking is what keeps the world this way.
I couldn't agree more. But I believe that this discussion can take place in the second episode of this podcast, where we will analyze and discuss this matter way more intensely. So, once again, I'm so happy that you guys could make it to this podcast, and I am beyond thrilled to have you in the second episode. Have a pleasant evening, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you on the other side.